Hi, my name is Jessie, and I am the leader and mentor with our essential oil support group, Fresh Start Oilers. I will be sharing a mini series starting today on hormone support, how to find that healthy, all natural balance between those crazy things that we all struggle with, whether we're a teenager or in our 20s, in our 40s, like myself. Even the 60s, 70s, male, female, adolescent, it doesn't matter. We all have them. We all have things in our lifestyle that are disruptors to these things, and they affect us not just in our physical body, but how we respond to others emotionally as well. So I'll be reading this mini series from the newly released book from Sarah Harnish. It's called The Game Plan Oils, and she has written some amazing research-backed scripts for us to share as leaders to educate others on the many options that we have at our fingertips to health issues, things that people struggle with on a daily basis versus just always automatically resorting to prescription drug, Western med, and so forth. So I will be starting this series today, about 6 to 10 minute increments. We will have about 4 video sessions like this in the next week. You are about to delve into what I consider the most difficult topic in oiling. If you're still on the hunt for your wow moment, you know, that moment where oils prove their worth to you, studying hormones can be a tough way to find it, but that's not impossible. Hormones are impacted by tens of thousands of things daily: stress, medications, nutrient deficiency diets, poor food choices, inadequate sleep, genetics, less active lifestyles, synthetic hormones, toxins and chemicals in our personal care products, and ingredients that we never even think to look, specifically like soy. Each gland is bombarded daily. You're trying to navigate that bombardment to find answers and regulate your endocrine system. It's quite the task. We're going to start off by understanding how your glands work, and then crossing a few things off the list that would be throwing them off kilter. And then we'll train on supplements and oils that may give your endocrine system the tools it needs to do what God created it to do. Let's start with a quote from our favorite Young Living book on hormones, Taming the Dragon Within, by Leanne and David Deardorff. The quote: "How are women like dragons? So much is obvious. We are living furnaces. We are moody, blowing up at the littlest things of the day and being calm and controlled the next. We are full of love and service and are tremendously loyal to those we love. Some days of the month we are starving hungry. Some days we have headaches and cramps. Some days we take in so much water, we puff with edema and water weight. And sometimes we seem to explode around the middle. And sometimes we're exhausted and need to sleep a lot. How do we tame the inner dragon? We balance out the hormones so our fiery dragon is put to sleep, and the other side, the kind side, can emerge and take over." Unquote. Young Living has created an entire line of supplements for both men and women to support the crazy endocrine system. We'll take a look at both, and I'll just go ahead and say it out loud. There are both men and women's hormone products with Young Living because, well, men can have dragon days too. Can I get an amen? Every single product made by Young Living, whether it's an oil or an oil-infused product, is held to our Seed to Seal standard. And that's what my shirt is right here. This is very important when sharing about Young Living, that everyone understands the standards and the protocols and the regulations that Young Living has for their products. Pesticides, herbicides, heavy metals, and many other toxins and chemicals you will find in other personal care products can send your endocrine system into a frenzy. We'll get into more of those disruptors later. Young Living doesn't make products with any of these ingredients. You can cross that off your list when trying to figure out this puzzle of an endocrine system. Young Living operates by an entire philosophy called the Seed to Seal. In fact, it impacts every single thing we do. So what is Seed to Seal? Nothing has been planted on the soil that has been in contact or has made contact with any chemicals within 50 years. The organic standard for things that are marked organic in the grocery store, this standard is 5 to 7 years. So imagine taking that tenfold to 50 years. Young Living picks the best seeds from strong, thriving plants. Young Living hand weeds and uses its own oils on plants for pest control to avoid harmful chemicals. Young Living harvests the plants at their peak, so you get the highest quality of oils. Young Living distills on site without chemicals. Young Living tests every batch multiple times with the state-of-the-art equipment. I can stand behind this seed to seal guarantee because I personally, as a member with Young Living, have visited 3 different farms, and the one farm in particular I have visited at least 4, if not 5 times. I'll have to stop and think about that. I have seen and I have participated in the distillation process and the planting of the seedlings and the planting of seeds specifically for lavender plants. I have helped to weed some of the fields. I have seen them using the leftover product in the distiller, specifically juniper, in the mulch beds at one of the particular farms. So it's not just words that we put out there to try to convince someone that this is the way we do it. They allow us as members to go and experience it and to be hands-on and to participate in these all-natural methods of farming. Now that you know the standard for how the products are made, let's jump right in and look at some supplements for both men and women. Then we'll take a look at what the Young Living founder, D. Gary Young, has had to say about hormones and wrap up with a hormones protocol for you to try. And again, this will be over the course of several days. What are hormones? Hormones are messengers in your body that regulate metabolism, growth, development, puberty, tissue function, sexual function, reproduction, sleep, and mood. With all of these responsibilities, they can contribute to a plethora of issues if any detail is out of whack. If you have pen and paper, you can start taking notes. Write these words if they stick out to you, something that you've struggled with, something that maybe your child struggles with, or spouse, significant other. Migraines, insomnia, weak bones, weight gain, hot flashes, mood swings, infertility, our ability to handle stress, and low libido, just to name a few. Over time, out of balance hormones can lead to rapid aging and increased risk of disease. Hormones affect every single cell in your body. They tell us when to wake up and when to go to sleep. They tell us when to eat and when to stop eating. They dictate how we respond to stress, joy, and fear. They tell us when to replace cells or just let the cells fade away. Knowing how hormones work and what you can do to keep them at a healthy level is an enormous task in itself. Glands of the endocrine system. Your endocrine system is a chemical messenger system, consists of all the glands in your body that make hormones. You got your thyroid, your parathyroid, your adrenals, which I know run down your sides. I know there's some right beside your kidneys. Pancreas, ovaries, and for men, the testes. These hormones regulate how other organs in your body operate. These messengers are made by the glands and secreted directly into the circulatory system, so balance is maintained. The body is constantly trying to keep your system in balance, but that is a big task. The liver is not technically part of the system, but it plays a large part because it has to keep removing excess hormones from the bloodstream. It's impacted by the hypothalamus, which is the neural control center upstream, which sends hormones to the liver. So the hypothalamus and pituitary gland team. What is that? The hypothalamus is an area deep inside the brain that receives chemical signals through the blood and electrical signals from the nervous system that keeps it in the know of the body's needs. It's essentially the regulator of the entire endocrine system. It keeps track of the blood concentration of hormones, and emotional thoughts. The hypothalamus gives order to the pituitary gland, which in turn releases hormones that signal the other glands downstream. It tells the kidneys to control water retention. and the adrenal glands to produce hormones for energy. It even determines when you need to sleep. If this gland doesn't function, none of the others will. Pituitary gland damage can lead to things like high blood pressure, lactation problems, water and temperature regulation, poor memory, adrenal insufficiency, weight problems, and more. The best supplement that Young Living has to love on the pituitary gland, mouthful, is Omega-Gize. All one word, OMEGA, capital GIZE, Omega-Gize. It also helps to put a drop of the lavender Vitality and a drop of frankincense Vitality on the roof of the mouth 4 to 5 times a day. And I don't have my bottles here to demo that. What you would do is you would put it directly on your tongue, tip of your tongue, and push it up and hold it there for maybe a count to 10. Okay, that's my nice demo there. So do that several times a day. This recommendation is 4 to 5 times a day. After this video, I will post, when I share this on Facebook, I will post it in the comments, the specific category, hypothalamus and pituitary gland team, and then I will post that suggestion below this, okay? And then the same for this one, the thyroid. The thyroid gland works under the direction of the pituitary gland and creates hormones that boost the metabolism of every cell. So think about it like this, a healthy working thyroid, it's going to make the metabolism work perfect. Hypo, where it's overactive, you're going to have the tendency, from my understanding, hyper, you're going to have the tendency to not be able to maintain your weight. You'll be more on the thin side. And hypo, underactive, will be where you have the tendency to hold on to your weight, okay? When it's underperforming, you'll have extreme fatigue. If it's overactive, you have things like, I stand corrected. I got those mixed up. The hypo and hyper always confuses me. When it's underperforming, you'll have extreme fatigue. When it's overactive, you'll have things like weight gain, coarse dry hair, cold intolerance, muscle cramps, and memory loss. Endoflex essential oil is wonderful on the throat for supporting the thyroid. And I do this every single day. I have it right there beside my makeup and some of my other daily oils, and I'll put a drop. Sometimes I'll have some with a roller top bottle on it, and I'll put it there, and then I'll take the remnants and I'll wipe it along my sides where my adrenals are, and in the back where my adrenals are as well. We also have a supplement called Thyromin that supports the thyroid. So that is an actual supplement that you can take, and I take that daily. The best time to take it is between 9 and 11 p.m. so that the body uses it at the nighttime. If you take it and you find that you're having a hard time going to sleep, then you need to switch it and take it in the morning, because what that is doing is then it's waking up maybe an underactive thyroid. So then it's triggering it and saying, wake up. And then that's giving you that adrenaline rush where you can't sleep at night. So I've heard some people say that that's an issue taking it at night. So just take note that if you do introduce the supplement and you have a hard time settling at night, to switch it up and take it in the morning. So that is the short clips for today on talking about hormone supports, talking about the glands of the endocrine system, the hypothalamus, pituitary gland team, and the thyroid. And after this is posted online, I will then share those 3 to 4 suggestions for supplements and oils underneath this post so that you can have them on hand. All right, I hope that you have enjoyed the first part of this series, and that if you have any questions, please feel comfortable. Know that I will help you to answer them below, or you can send me an email at oilybats, OILYBATS @gmail.com, and just put in the subject line hormone support ? And that will catch my eye, and I will be happy to get in touch with you. Thank you very much.